All right.
All right, so at 7:02 p.m., we'll open the meeting of the Recreation Commission on September 9th. Because we are doing this remotely, I think we need to take a roll call. So Kayla,
Here.
Amy, I think Amy, if you could take your mute off so we could get your answer.
See if I can get in touch with Amy via
Yeah, see if you
email.
could
Yeah.
chat with her.
She just said
Oh,
she
she
can't
can't. She can
mute.
unmute. Let me see if I can do it from my end. Give me 1 second. Can't. I can ask you to unmute, Amy. I don't know if that'll help, but let's try it. Let's see. Can I? I can mute everyone, but I can't unmute everyone. So let me. I'm gonna try this again. Amy's trying to rejoin, so I don't know if there was a hiccup. Let's see. Give me 1 second.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, there we
Yeah.
go.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm having all these. Sorry, I am here and was here the whole time. And on my computer, it was like wanting me to do a relaunch. So I did it on my phone and that wasn't working well. So, okay, I'm here.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right. So, and I'm here. So the three of us are here tonight. We can get started. The agenda looks like the first thing is the approval of the minutes from, is it June 3rd?
Correct. June 3rd.
Um, did you both have a chance to read those minutes? If not, Adam, maybe you can share them on the
Sure.
screen.
Pull up. Give me 1 second here. Go ahead and share. Everybody see my screen?
Yep. I
Perfect.
read through it and it looks good to me. Of course, I muted myself. I'm all okay on this side. There was nothing glaring.
Okay. So does one of you want to make a motion to approve?
This is Zane. I can make a motion to approve the minutes from June 3rd.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, all in favor, and we have to do the roll call again. So Kayla,
Aye.
Amy,
Aye.
and I am yes, so that's 3-0. Minutes approved. Review of bills.
Pull these
Any
up if you guys need them. Um, but
any questions on any of the bills?
I wrote down a couple questions I had, but for some reason, I think because Adam's sharing the screen, I can't get to my notes on my laptop. I
I'll
don't
stop
know.
sharing. I'll stop sharing.
Yeah,
Just
I don't know if that's the reason, but if we can try, that would be good.
yeah, no worries. Yeah,
Yeah, okay. I think I can get to it now. Strange. It's weird that
you can't touch your screen at all. Yeah, that's weird.
yeah, so weird. Okay. there's nothing wrong or anything, more just questions. For the June, July bills, what
Yep.
was the electrified shed?
So the parking shed at the beach didn't have any power. Um,
Oh,
and what we did was we added plugs to that shed in order to give it the ability to use the point of sale system
hmm.
um, that the snack bar does. Because typically, what would happen at the beach is if somebody came in with a credit card for a beach pass or whatever, they'd have to go to the snack bar. So we tried to eliminate that process. Um, so we powered up the beach that way.
Okay,
So
that's good. What was bushel and peck training for?
So we catered Bushel and Peck for lifeguards and for all of the summer day staff. So during their trainings,
Got
that's what
you.
they had for lunch.
It was catering for training. I was
Cor-
like, what? Why are we training for bushel and peck?
Yeah, that's my side job. I just train Bushel and Peck on the side. So
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. And then the last question I had was for the August bills. What was the reconditioning of athletic equipment for?
let me take a look at what you're looking at here. Reconditioning. Where in August you said, Kayla?
Yep.
Why am I not seeing
I don't have
reconditioning?
it pulled up. I just wrote notes down, but I can see if I can find it. Really where? I think it was the last page, maybe, but I could.
I don't see anything about reconditioning in August, but let me see if it was in July or June.
Yeah, I just looked through August. I can't find it now. What? So strange. I can't find it either, but I saw it today. Maybe I had like old bills pulled up.
Maybe, yeah. And I don't see anything about reconditioning on here.
Okay. Yeah, I don't either. I was just curious what that was for, but I don't know.
What
Now I
was
can't
the
see.
inclusion?
Uh,
Inclusion.
yeah, so that was just a bill for them because we charge for that inclusion program. So that was just them charging us for the participants, just like our any other vendors that we have.
Okay. But we have a program now that's
Yeah, we had one that started in the spring. That
okay.
went well. This one in fall didn't run due to numbers, but we were offering in the winter and in the spring as well. And I'm hoping that we'll get participation, more numbers that way. Um, so yeah.
Okay. All right. Anyone else have any other questions on the bills? Okay. Any correspondence?
Nothing of note.
Okay. Um, I don't know if everybody had a chance. Adam had attached a copy of the recreation facilities strategic plan. Um, did everyone get an opportunity to scan through that or not? It's fine. I mean, just so Adam knows from, like he can give us like a high level overview of what he got out of that report. I did look at it and you know,
Hi, this is Aim. If Adam, I looked at it before, but if you want to give like a high level, like
Yeah,
as a
yeah.
recap, I didn't have time to go back and look at it today, to be
It's
honest.
in full disclosure. It's a lot. It's a lot of
yeah.
words. I know that. So
Yeah,
no
I
no offense
scanned
taken.
it to be, yeah, okay.
So just to kind of give my I guess my takebacks from it. So I think the biggest thing that I took from the strategic plan is one that all of our playing fields are overused, which is kind of evident by the quality of them. And then also, we still have a ways to go to make our properties more ADA accessible. Those are kind of the two big takeaways I took from it. I'm actually in the process of working on like a formal capital expenditure plan for the next 5 years that will include a lot of the stuff that was mentioned in the strategic plan. Um, but it was helpful for me as I started to kind of formulate, how are we going to do this moving forward? But again, those are the two big things. Just the fields are just awful, and we need more AD accessibility, which I kind of knew going in just based on what I saw. But it was just nice to have from somebody else telling me those things. So
Yeah, I think as far as the accessibility is concerned, just trying to remember back when Jen was proposing those things, we kind of knew it was just a band-aid to get us to the absolute like lowest level accessibility as possible without any funds really. Um, but we definitely need to address that moving forward. But obviously, poured surfaces on every playground facility we have is kind of a lot.
yeah,
So,
and I think the I've kind of started the capital plan, and my plan is to uh, show it at October's meeting. But it's going to be aggressive, and I'm kind of going for shoot for the moon. I don't think we're going to get everything that I would like, but I would rather at least have it on paper, to say this is what we want to do, so people can see that, and we can tell a better story for the next 5 years with our plans. To say, and you guys can be great advocates of that too. To say, we really want to do this with our parks and playgrounds, but we need your help, kind of thing. So it'll be ambitious. It's redoing fields, as some of the numbers in there are pretty substantial, in the millions, to fix a lot of the problems. But at least if we can start to really be focused as we move forward, with some of those properties and some of those plans, is my hope for the next 5 years. So
yeah, I definitely think athletic fields and all of those statistics were the top priority. We've been saying that for years and years. But the issue is also the maintenance aspect of it and having the money in the budget to maintain the fields that we do put in. I saw a lot of frustration with people, um, you know, getting new things and then not allocating enough to properly maintain. We see it at the school level on their fields as well as our fields. Um, so that's an issue. Another thing that I thought was interesting was all along when we went for the super park, the idea was we wanted one comprehensive park that would accommodate across all age groups and all people in the town. And we thought, we had the location, it was relatively low budget. And the feedback we got during that process was that people thought it was more important to have small community parks instead of one centralized park. Um, and now we're seeing, though, the result of that decision is going to be 20 times more
right.
expensive than what we were proposing all along. So just making sure it's kind of like a conflicting priority. The town is saying many little centralized parks, but we don't want to spend any money. And maybe trying to understand like what's the best solution without spending any money but still addressing the needs that we have for the parks. Um, so it'd be interesting to see what the consultant says about that situation when it's conflicting information that you're getting from your feedback. So,
Yeah, and it's tough too, because obviously I think I kind of view Grafton as like three different city towns in Grafton, just due to the zip codes. And I think a lot of times you hear like, oh, I live in South Grafton. Like I don't want to go all the way to North Grafton to go to a park, or I don't want to go to Central Grafton to go to Norcross. So um, that's kind of my philosophy when I'm starting to build this capital plan, is how can each borough have a benefit of a fully accessible park, or if it's a walking to whatever it is. Because I feel like that's the vibe that I got a lot from it. Is like I said, people want stuff in their backyard. So that's kind of some of the feedback that I got.
but that's more expensive, just
Well,
so they
exactly, it's a trade off, right? Exactly.
They just
Yeah,
need to
yeah,
understand if that's what you're saying you want, then we can't have the excuse that we can't spend any more money.
right.
Also, like it's got to be one or the other.
Yeah,
We've got to figure out a way to do that and not spend money, but it's going to be difficult, and not every park's going to get the same attention. We might have to pick a couple that we focus on. Um, so that'll be a challenge going forward. But it was good to see all the information, and like you said, it does reemphasize what we've known all along. Now we just need the community support to do what we need to do.
Absolutely. Yep.
It's just interesting because our town, while it may feel spread out, it probably takes 10 minutes to get to one side to the other. So, like you were saying, Adam, everyone wants something in your backyard, but there's a cost, like Kristen, you're just talking about here associated with that. We don't have such a large town. So is there a way to like influence, right?
And another one of the feedback that someone gave was when you're talking about these little neighborhood parks, sometimes you go and nobody else is there. So you have these little tiny parks that nobody's at. Like when people, lots of times when they go to parks, they want to be surrounded by other kids and other families, and they don't want to be alone because then it leads to feeling less safe. So I thought that was an interesting comment. That's one of the drawbacks of the little community parks as well. So there were lots of little like good feedback in there, I thought.
Yeah, and I think for me, and I won't go into the specifics, but when you guys get the chance to just to review, go through the survey again. And one of the questions was, what's most important to you? And the community center was like number 4. So just something to, I mean, I know that's a bigger ask, but just know that it seems like the need is there, or the want is there to have a community center. We'll see how Westboro does, how theirs shakes out. I think they've got some hurdles they've been going through, but I'll be curious to see, down the line, like, if this is still a priority, how can we make something like that happen? Be the hill I die on if I retire in Grafton is getting a community center. So.
Oh, the other thing too that was pointed out that I think is a really good suggestion, which is something we've touched on a little bit, is the collaboration with the school department, and not like realizing that some of those facilities could be included in the totals, so that we're not like doubling what we actually have. Um, being able to use a field that is the responsibility of the school in hours that it's not being used, so that both sides get to use it. I think exploring that, I know there's all kinds of reasons why it hasn't happened up to this point for budgets and stuff, but it is an interesting thing to explore, because I think they should be included in the totals.
And we have a good working relationship with like the facilities person named Shauna Carlson. So I definitely think that was been kind of my focus coming in, was building that relationship. And I feel like the doors opened in regards to opportunity there more, which is good. So
good. Anybody else?
I noticed a lot of bathroom comments. That stood out to me.
No, and it did for me too. It's such a tough, how do I say it? It's challenging because that involves more use, means more facility needs, which means more money. So I heard that. It's just, again, if people want new parks or access to those public restrooms at those facilities, we're going to have to find means to keep them clean and safe and all that stuff. Cause I'd love to have Ferry and Norcross 100% access, at all times, but who's going to clean it? Daryl's already spread thin in parks and playgrounds. We hire a contractor, but that costs money. So it's just, again, it's the never ending revolving door of I would love all this stuff, but it just costs excessive amounts of dollars.
Yeah. I feel like it probably just frustrates people because they're there and they're like, oh my God, there's bathrooms here and I need it, but it's locked. And it's just like in your face, but not being used routinely. You never know if it's going to be open or not.
Or during, I think it's most frustrating when it's during game session time. Like,
Mhm.
you're there for a game, people are playing, the facility's open, but the bathrooms aren't. That's when it gets frustrating. Like if it's after hours and nobody else is around, you can kind of understand why the bathrooms are locked. But when it's the middle of the afternoon and there's game after game and you can't get in, then I could see why that's frustrating.
No,
I
yeah.
mean, to that point, is there anything that we could do, Adam, to keep them open like seasonally during certain periods of heavy trafficking and see if they're maintained like from a cleanliness standpoint from the community and have maybe less facilities checking in? I don't know if there's any option or if it's really the cost and the facilities is spread so thin.
I mean, Daryl in our parks does way too much for us already, and I would hate to throw this on his plate. It
Yeah.
doesn't mean we can't explore it. I know that during baseball, Norcross bathrooms are used. They like open and lock them, so it's really only
Yeah.
available during those times. And Ferry as well. Um, it's not it's not all the realm of possibility. I just think it might need to be like a trial, maybe next season. We obviously winterize them from in the winter, so there's no
Yeah.
access in the cold months. But I mean, I'm totally fine with getting down there with a scrub brush and stuff too and cleaning. But I just also again can't commit to having it be my focus when other things are going on too. But
Completely understand.
but yeah, no, it's definitely. I mean, it's definitely something I can talk to. I meet biweekly with Evan, the town administrator, so I can see, hey, is there anything that we can do, to share the load and not feel like it's too much. So yeah.
Right?
Can I just offer a suggestion if we realize we cannot do that because it just doesn't make sense? Porta potties, even just to have somewhere for somebody to go. I know it would seem weird because we have the facilities there, but especially at Ferry, I mean, sometimes people are stuck there for hours. I've been there with my kids and had to run home because I'm not
Yeah.
like one of the boys who just runs in the woods.
Yeah, no. So Norcross has a portable restroom right next to the playground. Ferry has one near the pickleball area. That doesn't help if you're playing baseball on the other side of the field, but that's definitely something to note. And Airport does not, but typically Airport's a backup field. To give you some context on that field, it gets very wet. So baseball and cricket tend to not schedule games there because even like a quarter inch of rain, the thing turns into a swimming pool. But yeah, that's good feedback. We'll go from there. So.
Right. Let's see. The next thing is the summer recap.
Yeah, so I'm not going to bore you into the weeds of everything, but just to give you a quick synopsis about beach and summer days. So a couple notes from the beach. Unfortunately, blue-green algae reared its ugly head this summer, so we were closed for 2 weeks. But outside of being closed for 2 weeks, it was a great summer. The staff were fantastic. I've already thought of how we can be more efficient next year in regards to the staffing structure of the beach next year. So I'm excited to kind of see how that rolls out next summer. Nothing serious, but I thought it went well. So that was good there. In regards to summer days, again, it was pretty good. This was a year of exploration for me and just kind of understanding the program. The 20 extra kids worked great. Parents are very happy. Parents also happy about the morning extended option as well. We will be also looking to restructure summer days as well next summer to, again, focus more on the continuing of the positive direction of the programming itself. Next year, we're looking to offer specialist positions that will solely focus on offering activities for each group based on their particular specialty. So, arts and crafts, which we already have anyways, but arts and crafts, STEM, we're looking to do, and then also somebody dedicated to sports and games. So we're hoping next year that'll kind of like enhance what we're already doing well. For next year, again, after seeing things kind of roll out, we're looking to offer more spots next summer. which is great. We have the space at the school. We're also going to register by grade next year versus by age. That was one of the biggest comments from people was, my kid is 7, but they're in a group with first graders when they're going to second grade. So next year we're going to organize by grade. And then also we're looking to do a new program called Gators on the Go. It's basically going to be like a travel camp for older kids, 8th and 9th graders. So again, just trying to bring in new programs to kind of expand our reach and give people more opportunities. So any questions? I know, Amy, your hand is up, so feel free to take it away if you have any questions.
Yeah, thanks, Adam. Appreciate that. I had a question in regards to like the system. So I'm hearing that people, it could be like 8:10 and everything's like sold out and everybody's on a wait list already. And is there anything that we can do to open up at certain times or not open up at the same time? Or I heard a comment that people could just dump everything into their cart prior to 8. I don't know if that's accurate. And then at 8 o'clock, they can press click in their cart and then make the payments quickly. So it seems that not everybody is able to in 10 minutes, complete their actions.
Yeah, I don't. So the system shouldn't allow anybody prior to the opening date and time to put stuff in their cart. So
okay.
I don't know about that one. But I'm hopeful with adding more spots next summer, we'll hopefully alleviate a lot of the issues. I mean, by like 8:03 that morning, or whatever time we opened, 3 minutes after we were booked. So I know the demand is out there and I want to meet the demand as best we can. But I needed, in theory, I could have taken, more kids off the wait list this summer, but I wanted to see this summer before I made a drastic change of more kids. But I definitely think that it's something we can do next summer. And hopefully we'll have very small wait lists next year because we're adding more spots.
That sounds great. Thank you.
All right. Moving on. Commissioner reports. So Stephen isn't here for open space. CPC had Evan come and give a presentation on the North Street Park situation, which was interesting. Like, I'm glad he did that because everyone just kind of had to know, what step we're at. It's changed so many times. Adam, do you want to give an update on that for the rest of the members?
Yeah. So I wasn't in full disclosure, I wasn't at the meeting, so I just kind of followed up. But basically, as we've kind of talked about, the project based on the lowest bidder, we're still off by a little over $100,000 to finish the project. So Evan has kind of taken the helm of looking at the project and seeing how we can either do more stuff in-house or just scale back the project a little bit in order to move it forward, and then continuing stuff after. So for example, a couple of the options that Evan proposed was one, getting rid of the pavilion for now and revisiting, because was about $130,000 to do the pavilion, and then also reroute there used to be in the original plans a walkway or boardwalk over the wetlands that are back there. But we're looking to reroute them so it's not on the wetlands, because that'll save some dollars. So the goal right now is to go back to town meeting in the fall and basically just have the town revote about our changes to our plan. Again, Evan is finalizing everything, so I don't have exactly what specifically he's going to make changes for, but that's the plan, is to just retweak the plan so we can get something and something moving. And then go from there. So
we just thought it was important. The CPC thought it was important since the scope changed significantly as far as what we were getting for our money. It still has an accessible loop and then the outer loop. But where it's going is different. And then taking out that pavilion, that's a major amenity that's being removed. So we just felt like it was important for the town to understand the scope change and the cost difference, instead of just moving forward with the project. So we think that's the right thing to do for transparency purposes. But the important thing to understand is that we're still getting a majority of what we were asking for over there. It is an open space park, and those paths are the most important things. I'm happy with the revisions. Any other questions on that? Okay. Anything on programming and events from you?
I mean, we had the summer, we had concerts, which were great. We just finished our last one 2 weeks ago, the 29th. They were good program. Other than programming in the summer, that was pretty much it, the big stuff. So yeah, no, like the summer was good. It was busy, but it was good. Looking forward to next summer. So
Okay. Old business? Anything?
no.
Director's report,
Yeah.
past programs.
We kind of talked about summer, so I won't bore you there. But for upcoming programs, so just a couple of updates. If you haven't heard, all of our fall and winter programming is up. So there's that. Just a couple of staffing updates. For those that are unaware, Mary has been working in our office for a little over, I believe it's 2 years now. This was a like gateway job to her officially retiring. So her potential last month with us is in April. So I know that's kind of far away, but just kind of want to get that on people's radar that we will be looking to fill that position eventually. Right now, her position is part-time, 20 hours, and I'm trying to work with the town to see if we can potentially elevate the position to full-time. To give you some context, so the staffing, full-time equivalent staffing hasn't changed in our office since basically the department's been built. So we've had 2.5 full-time equivalents for over 15 years, and we're offering 3 times more programs. We're bringing in 3 times more revenue. There's a lot of more things, and I think if we had her position as a full-time position, it will help me be able to try to get more other programs down the line a little bit. And then also in regards to staffing, I've been working internally with the crew, but also with Evan about potentially creating a new position focused on therapeutic recreation. This position will be unique in the fact that it'll be a fully funded position through the revolving account. So to give you also some context, so camp program fees, any of our program fees go into our revolving account. The only dollars, quote unquote, that the town receives from the rec department is the beach passes, but everything else goes into this revolving account, we call it. Consider it like a debit account. So it's just money that sits in an account. We can use it as we please. But my hope is that, I'll be giving you a formal presentation in October about it, but hopefully offering a full-time position in the office to focus solely on adaptive and inclusive programming. As we've kind of talked about, inclusion and adaptive programming isn't my strong suit, but if I can find a qualified individual who can focus on those programs, I know the need is out there. I've heard from community members. So just trying to enhance our staff team there so we can kind of divvy up more tasks around the department and be able to do more. So
Adam, would that be a full-time long-term position, or would that be like a 24-month position? Okay.
Permanent. Yep. The goal is permanent, fully benefited and everything. Yeah. So that's the hope. And I think, like I said, we're doing a lot already, but if this person can take off part of Cody's plate and part of Mary's plate and part of Weber's plate, Cody can focus more on offering more programming or family events or whatever. So, like I said, more to come, but we'll just kind of give you a little sneak peek. There's that.
And are all the personnel positions out of the revolving account?
No. So my salary, Cody's salary, and Mary's are from the town tax levy, the general fund.
Okay.
So again, working closely with Evan about how can we sell this, quote unquote, to the townspeople if we want to increase by half a full-time equivalent in our office. But to kind of give you context, Westboro has 3 full-time people. Shrewsbury has 4. So it's not atypical to have 3 full-time equivalents in a department for the rec department. So
For that
What's our
position,
balance?
Adam. Oh,
What's
sorry,
our
go ahead.
balance in the revolving account right now?
As of July 1, we were at 610,000.
Okay.
And typically, not to bore you with all the finance stuff, but revolving accounts, they typically try to tell you to have up to 6 months of expenditures in reserves, and we're way over that. Our 6 months is basically like 400,000. So um, we've been making money the past couple of years, so it was closer to like 400 about 3 years ago. But again, we'll give you the full skinny at the next meeting, breaking all
Okay.
that down for you. But Amy, do you have a question?
No, I was going to say for that position too, like to try to influence, like for, to get buy-in on that. Is there any way that you can, I don't know if it's against, the law, but get statistics or data from the town in the school systems to see how many children or people in the town have disabilities, to be able to say like there is this need for this position because we have X percentage of our population, that
I
would
probably can
benefit.
find that information. Yeah, I probably could find it. I just think like there's a lot of opportunity for that type of programming. I met today on the phone with Special Olympics coordinator for the person actually works. So there's plenty of opportunity, but I'm only one. Cody and I are only two people, full-time people, and he's got a lot of stuff, and I'm trying to I've got a lot of the big picture stuff that kind of goes to the wayside when I have to do more indirect programming, which is fine. But if we can bring on another person to support that, then I can focus on some of the bigger picture stuff, like advocating more for playgrounds and every that are AD accessible, fundraising, grants, all that stuff. So this will be a huge help for me personally, and I think for the department and the town as a whole.
Do you know what other towns offer those type of, like, does anybody else have a person on staff for those services?
So the Shrewsbury Rec Director is a certified therapeutic rec supervisor, which is the position that I'm looking for in a sense. A lot of the rec departments in like the North Shore area have a specific therapeutic recreation specialist that's a full-time position in their department that focuses on that programming. And those towns that they have those positions are similar in size to ours. So I can imagine the needs probably pretty similar. Um,
The one thing just to consider, because we are talking about a smaller population of people, is looking at those things regionally.
yeah,
Not every town necessarily has to offer those types of services that, like, specific, but I'm saying like that could be something if we had it, isn't just factoring in Grafton
right.
residents. We could look at the number of people that would use this in all of the surrounding towns, to support having it. I just didn't know what programming is already available in surrounding towns where we could be duplicating efforts instead of working together to provide
Yeah,
those.
the I don't know if it's led by, but the Shrewsbury Rec Department coordinated this. It's a program called Rec Connect, and I've been trying to get connected with them. They do offer activities of kids of varying abilities. So
Because that's not too far to travel.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
if somebody had a
yeah,
specific program they
yeah,
could do, I mean, I wouldn't mind going to Shrewsbury for
yeah,
it and vice versa.
yeah.
So
So yeah, um, yeah. That's kind of what I've been working on is that stuff, and like I said, working on the capital plans, which I'll present in October when they're ready. Um, Couple events coming up just to keep eye on. We have the Fall Festival, which is Sunday, October 20th, 11 to 2. Um, if any of you are available to volunteer, that would be fantastic. It's a great event. This will be the second year that we've done the combo event, the pumpkin painting and the scarecrows. Um, we also this year we're going to be doing the turkey race a little differently. One because it's been canceled the past 3 years because of rain, but secondly, just trying to find a way to keep it fun and not have to have as many hands on deck for the event. So it's going to be run online, but through an app. So basically, they'll have a week to complete all the tasks, and they're going to be semi-challenging. So it won't be like a one day, like ready, set, go to the finish line kind of thing. and this will help us in case it does rain on that Saturday. Like I said, it's been 3 years in a row that it's happened. We can say, oh, you have a week to finish this, and then all the people that finish will be put into a raffle to win a big prize. So just trying to tweak it a little bit to make it as easy for all of us, but also just make it so if it rains, it's not going to ruin the day.
So you go online, you get your list of things, and then you have all week to go do it.
So the app itself, there are certain tasks on the app that you have to complete. So for example, I don't want to give away some of the answers, but the app, there's a certain task, and you have to take a picture of that task, and then it gets sent through the app to, I'm the moderator. So I review the entry, and if it's correct, then I would notify that it's correct. And then you get a notification on the app saying, oh, Kristen, your team completed that. Good job. Go to the next task.
Okay.
And you can upload videos. The good thing about it is they're location specific. So like, say if I need you to take a video of a dog at a particular park, you can't go to the beach and take a picture of that dog. It has to be the location I tell you where to go. So that kind of prevents the cheating piece of it, of just somebody going on their phone and looking up, oh, I have a picture of a dog. Oh, I have a picture of this. So yeah, I tried it out around town. It's really cool. It's really intuitive. So I'm looking forward to seeing how it rolls out this year.
How will you know where they are?
So that it's GPS tracked. So your phone will have to allow GPS tracking. And then it'll say, oh, you're too close, or you're not close enough, or it'll allow you to upload the picture if you're close enough. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
I like that. That's fun.
Yeah. So those are the big events coming up. And then the last one, we still are looking for commissioners. So if you have anybody interested in getting involved, feel free to send them my way, or if Kristen, send them Kristen's way just to talk. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for us so far.
When does Grafton Celebrates the Holiday stuff get started?
Well, on my end, it's already started. But it's Sunday, December 8th. This year, so the craft fair that's in conjunction with the event was typically done at the municipal center. We're expanding it this year. That's actually going to be at the high school, which allows us more vendors. So instead of about 40 last year, we have about 90 this year.
Wow.
So we're really going to push and market that we're probably one of the biggest craft fairs in the area ever. We're going to be pushing it out to all the local news people. But yeah, we're kind of in the beginning stages of getting all the Frosty stops ready to go and all that kind of stuff. But we'll be in touch as it gets a little closer about needs and stuff. It might just be for you guys, again, just going to the Frosty stops and taking pictures, just like last year, but go from there.
Hopefully it doesn't rain on that day either.
I know. We've had the worst luck.
And then you're going to do the rental for the lights again?
I'm hoping. I actually, funnily enough, I got the hey, welcome back. Do you want to come back with us letter today in the mail in the office? I'm hoping that we've got a couple of people. So our sponsorship packet appeal that went out to local businesses included a holiday light sponsorship this year to help alleviate some of the cost. And I have those couple of sponsors, not on hold, but basically saying we want to make sure we can afford this before I take your money kind of thing. But I'm hoping that we can do it again this year. It's about the same price. But okay. Yeah, that's my plan. I'll let you guys know probably next meeting updated with if it's going to go or not. So.
Okay. Now, did I see, speaking of the common, was there some LED light thing on the gazebo? Did anybody else? I was just driving by. I wasn't right in front of it. And those, how they have LED lights that flash through 5 different colors.
Mm-hmm.
Something was glowing under the gazebo, and I was like, did we put something up there? I didn't know what it was.
Not that I'm aware of. Maybe it was a DJ party or something I missed. But
okay. No. I couldn't understand how that could fly. I'm like, I don't think people are going to want that up there. But anyways. All right. So it must have been some person doing their own thing one day.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else?
So that's it. We're moving and shaking. So getting ready for the winter.
I have a question about the fall festival. What are the hours of that?
It is 11 to 2. So depending upon, and we'll send you out like more specific about volunteers, like what we need.
Yeah,
But if you can be
that's what I
there,
meant. Like,
yeah.
when would you need help?
I need to look at what we currently have for high school volunteers, and see what we need. It might just be like a split shift if half you want to do the first half and the second, just so you're not taking your whole week, your whole Sunday away. But I'll be in touch soon with that for you.
Yeah, I think Adam, I'm like 90%. I looked at the hockey schedule and I'm pretty sure I can be available that day.
Great. Awesome.
All right. Nobody has anything. Does someone want to make a motion to adjourn at 7:47?
I can make a motion
Okay.
to adjourn at 7:47.
All right. Is there a second?
A second.
All in favor? Ayla? Amy?
Amy.
Me? Yes.
Yes.
3-0. We're adjourned.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.